Well, hello there and welcome back to the FPL Focus Shed. It's me, Paul, and this is the mini league analysis from game week 4. I'm going to be showing you the most owned players, mini league template for our league, who people have transferred in and out last week, who has done really well last week, who had the best transfers, who climbed 30 places in the league, the only player owning Son, that's who. Let's go and have a look and see what has been going on then, shall we? So, manager of the week in terms of the most points, 104 points, John Hilson. Well done to you, John. Let's have a look and see how you've managed it. Well, you played your bench boost. Hence, by the way, why you didn't end up as team of the week. I've decided team of the week, unless it's a week where lots of people are playing chips, like a double game week, for example, then it will be teams without. But doesn't mean you've not had a great week. 104 points, got the century. Well done to you, sir. I see you have Areola in goal. There's some nice fixtures coming up for them, for West Ham, so maybe that's been a good time. Well, after these next couple of game weeks, of course, from game week 7 or 8 onwards, I think. So you've got the double up with Bowen. Now, Alexander-Arnold in defence, that's a very interesting one. As the £8 million, is he still £8 million? The £7.9 million defender, the most expensive in the game. Didn't have the best of starts. 3 blanks in the first 3 weeks, but then last week came in with a 12-pointer, and interestingly only played 71 minutes. However, still managed to get himself 3 bonus points, and he just kept dropping almost into. I seen him kept swapping with Matip and going into the heart of defence and almost getting to that ball a little bit earlier over the top. So Salah, I think, is going to be a great asset moving forward. I know that's not rocket science, but if we can get Salah in our teams and some budget midfielders along the way that are doing just as well, because there are some out there, the Mbuemos, the Madisons, you know, the possibly Eze, if he starts to pick up that mantle after he got a return last week, maybe we can afford some of these players as their fixtures turn slightly as well. So I must admit, I went to look as I was watching the game, could I fit Alexander-Arnold into my team? He played that well. So a great player for you last week, John. Well done. Saliba for 2 points, Estupinian for 2 points, not getting any returns again last week. Saka with an assist, Bowen with another goal, lovely header from him there. Rodrigo, the budget midfield option available from City, with a couple of attacking returns this season already. 2 goals scored, 3 with an assist in that first game week as well. But interestingly, his XGI not quite as high last week. Playing that slightly deeper role, I'm assuming, from that. And Mbuemo with his 4th goal in 4 games, that lovely turn in the dying moments of the game last week. Lovely return, managed to get him a bonus point as well. So Mbuemo owners are laughing all the way to the bank. Captaincy on Haaland, Isaac 2 points, and then Ferguson on your bench with a hat-trick, making your bench boost worthwhile last week. He saved it for you, to be honest, didn't he, mates? But 19 points on a bench boost, I think that's okay, to be fair. In fact, I've probably done worse along the way myself. Sometimes I save these chips for the double game weeks and they don't do as well as you'd think. So that one has worked for you. Well done to you, John. Moving on, Daniel Strike had the biggest rise in the league. Sir, well done to you, Daniel. How did you manage it? What caused you to get that rise to 9th place in the league, now in the top 10? Well, in all honesty, it was these 2 players. Szoboszlai, if I'm saying that right, with 10 points. Goal scored, clean sheet, and 2 bonus points. He was all over the place, and I think he's going to be a very big player for Liverpool. A standing ovation for him from the Kop when he went to take a corner, which isn't always normal, but this one seemed like a "we love you" type ovation when he was taking the corner. And then, so maybe he is someone to target, going under the radar slightly. How owned is he? He is not very owned at all. £7 million, 4.4% owned. Could be an option for Liverpool. Diaz played slightly deeper last week. A lot of people's first choice. So that could be an interesting one. And then Son, you brought him in game week 3 on your wild card, but absolutely returning for you last week. I could see you that confidence in him, you put him as a vice captaincy. And then you've got Van der Ven, which is a £4.5 million option for Spurs as well. Has played every single minute, maybe not as attacking as some of the other players, maybe not going to get as far forward, but if you can't afford Romero or Udogie at this moment in time, he is a cheaper way into that Spurs defence. Nicholas Jackson up front for you, not quite doing it at the moment, is he? He's getting the chances though, maybe they're going to come for him. It's whether you keep the faith with him, because those chances are coming. Surely one of them's got to go in, or he's got to get a haul soon. Yeah, Pedro on the bench, Guardiola and Saliba for you make up your full team. Turner on the bench as well. We all should have played Turner last week, shouldn't we? Well done, Dan. You've had a great week, mate. Let's see where you go after this week. No transfers, so you've got 2 transfers. Wondering what you're going to do. Are you going to replace Jackson? Or are you going to bring somebody in your defence? We shall see. Moving on then, let's go and see a little bit more information. Who else did well? Best transfers this week, 11 net points for Biswanath. Biswanath, whilst I'm talking about this, I have noticed, sir, I do apologise for this, but you have got 2 teams in our league. You need to get rid of one of them, mate, or I will do that for you this week. That is what's called not fair, and it's actually against the rules in Fantasy Premier League as well. So please lose one of the teams, or I shall have to do that for you. You've been told. Worst transfers this week, JB 8 minus 18 net points. Feeling your pain there, mate. Does happen to all of us. Most captained, only 90%. A lot of people decided to take a cheeky punt last week and not captain Haaland. Unfortunately for you guys that did, it wasn't the week to do it when he returned his 20 points. Most transferred in, got a return as well, 7 points this week. Maddison for the most transferred out. Martinelli only managed 2 assists this season so far, Martinelli, so I can see him leaving a few more teams this week as people start to panic. Okay, let's have a look and see who were the most captained, who other people went for then. So there was 2 people went for Salah, 1 went for Darwin, Sterling, 2 for Jackson and 1 for Chilwell. Thinking Chelsea are going to return, unlucky for those. Saka, not very good one. Maddison and Rashford, so nobody really setting the world on fire there in terms of a separate captain choice. Didn't pay off for those people who went for it. Transfer analysis, who were people transferring in and out then? So a lot of people going transferring in City players, transferring in Spurs players. I'm expecting that trend to continue this week. Certainly to see Son in this section, along with Maddison. And then a lot of people bringing in the Chelsea. Maybe too early if you've gone for them to be binning them, as they do have the fixtures, but they were booed off last week by their own supporters. So interesting to see. There might be some changes rung there as Pochettino tries to get this team ticking in the way that he wants. Who did people abandon last week then? Well, we've already seen a lot. The most sold out was Martinelli, but Gabriel was close behind. And classic FPL, he played. Didn't get a return though, so it wasn't the worst transfer in the world, but he is back in the Arsenal team, and I believe starting the formation they played last week, the players they played last week will be the main starting 11, I believe, moving forward. Shaw and Rashford, people abandoning the Man United assets as well. Rashford, Shaw obviously injured. Rashford getting a goal last week, but still not hitting those double digits and the big hauls he was getting last season. Other people, team major sort of like that people were abandoning was Brighton, Mitoma, away from 4 teams, March, Pedro and Enciso. Interesting to see how that pans out this week. In terms of player ownership, this is all, by the way, still using the Premier Fantasy Tools website. All this analysis link is in the description below. Sort of thing you can go and do if you want to analyse, maybe the top performing league and see what people are doing, etc., etc. It just gives a different overall view on ownership and things like that, which actually I've seen a lot of things with a lot of teams based in Indonesia in the top 10 last week. Is the template actually accurate at this moment in time? Not so sure. So this I find very interesting. Haaland, Estupinian, Saka and Chilwell in over 80% of teams, basically. Interesting to see. how that changes this week, particularly Chilwell taken off again in the 61st minute. Estupinian, couple of blanks now. Are people going to move to Trippier and Buemo? Turner, Rashford make up the other three players in over 50% of our teams, closely followed by Fernandez, Jackson and Udogie. How does that look for our mini league template? Well, if I just click this button here, it should give a one screener. Yes, it does. And this is how it looks. And this is based on the ownership from the managers in this league. Turner at 55%, Pickford, Areola and Onana making up the goalkeeping slot. Estupinian, Chilwell, Udogie, which doesn't surprise me. I think anyone playing three at the back, that has been certainly my team last week. Bulldog, Kabori, you can see the £4 million options here. The most of Saliba and Gabriel. In midfield, we've got Saka and Buemo and Rashford in over 50% of teams, as we've already alluded to. Fernandez and then Foden, Maddison and Matoma battling for that fifth midfield slot. So thought I might see Sterling in there, and I certainly expect to see Son this week, the most transferred in player so far. Up front, Haaland, Jackson and Bammer, Watkins and Wisser. Why didn't you go for Alvarez, people? Well, maybe next week. Maybe next week. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we've got UCL, UEFA Champions League coming up. Things may start changing as rotation comes into these teams. But Alvarez, the player, played all 4 games so far this season. Here's some differentials. It's like, as you can see, the ownership compared to overall. And Bammer in 27 compared to 8.2 overall. Kabore 23, 5.3 overall. Archer in 13% of teams. Anyone play him? Well done to you if you did. In 5.5% overall. I'd say Archer, by the way, just as a little cheeky one, the most appealing £4.5 million forward option in the game right now. Stick my neck on the line with that one. Not much of a stick on the neck on, but that's what I shall do. Okay, brings us to the league then, and let's go and see who is top of the league this week. And it is the 12-man FC. Charles Gill, with his 102 points, has made it to the top of the league again. How did he do so well? Well, he played his triple captain, took a -8. Hits I've worked for him this week, and he's brought in he triple captained Erling Haaland last week. Got Alvarez up the top for him on his 14 pointer. Seems to be when Haaland scores, Alvarez and Phil Foden are the players that are going to be the most involved in that. So for me, it's almost a no-brainer to have Alvarez in your team as well. It looks like he got much more, but it's only 6 points more overall, and for what, £8 million less, nearly £7.5 million less, you can have Julian Alvarez alongside him as well. Great team there for you, mate. And you've got some options. A big shouts, actually, because it's hard to bench some of these players. Benching the likes of Matoma, Estupinian and Saka. So some brave decision-making from you there, sir. Well done, well done, well done. I mean, you could have got more, obviously, if you'd have put Wisser and Sterling on your bench. But decision-making is tough when you've got a good bench as well. Well done to you, top of the league. Some other mentions. This is Spartak, got my team of the week, 97 points. Didn't play any chips whatsoever. Shaw raked a lot. Evan Boubacar on 88 points. Great week. 95 for Dan. We've already looked at that. There's me in 15th, climbing the league now on 88 points. So well done to me as well. Awesome, guys. That's it for the mini league analysis for this week. Hope game week 5 is good for you. Let us know in the comments below what your plans are. Any debates you want, you're welcome to start those in the bottom, or come and chat with me on Twitter and we can do that as well. There it is, just there below the my Twitter handle, FPL__focus. If you like this sort of thing, do give us a like. If you want to be part of the analysis next week, the league is obviously in the description below. You just need to click that, the auto join link, and it'd be lovely to have you on board. Can we have 100 league members next week? I'm sure we can. Lovely. Thanks very much for joining me then. Take it easy. I shall see you soon here, an FPL Focus in my shed for more FPL content. Take it easy. Bye bye.